Welcome to my State of the Channel video. I'm finally back after 2 years, and I'm hoping to actually make videos somewhat sustainably now. There's just this bad habit that people get into of not doing what the best version of themselves would be doing, and instead of getting caught up in, I hate this word, but adulting. And I don't want to do that. I want to do the things that I really want to do, not the things that I feel like I have to do. I want to try to be the best version of myself. And so that's why I'm back. One thing that I'm going to do, but am a little bit hesitant to do, is finish my original Book Club of One video series, going through Hayek's Constitution of Liberty chapter by chapter. I've read the next bit of the Constitution of Liberty so many freaking times now, writing outlines and even full scripts for them. I've done it like 4 times and then just never gotten around to shooting the videos. So I'm really sick of those chapters. So I kind of don't want to do them, but I also want to finish what I started. For somebody who just released like 4 videos, it seemed like the couple people who saw them were getting a kick out of them. And so I don't want to abandon that. I'm hoping, once I'm done with Constitution of Liberty, to do book club of ones on other books I've read since then. So, John Rawls' Theory of Justice is one I'm hoping to get to at some point. Before I do that, I'll probably do Nozick's Anarchy, State, and Utopia. Before I get to Anarchy, State, and Utopia is wonderful. It's a lot of deontological libertarians will end up becoming anarchists because it seems to be the logical conclusion of their beliefs. Nozick has an argument for how you can be a deontological, non-utilitarian libertarian and still justify the existence of a night watchman state. That works a lot better than I think a lot of people give it or him credit for. His argument is not, I'm getting off track here, but his argument isn't just that, it's inevitable that a state is going to arise out of multiple competing law enforcement agencies. Anywho, that's neither here nor there. I'd love to go through that chapter by chapter because I think a lot of people in libertarianism who start out, I'm so getting off track here, but a lot of people who get into libertarianism as minarchists end up getting pulled in the direction of anarcho-capitalism, or a sort of more, I'm going to say, neoliberal, practical utilitarian sort of libertarianism. And I think in order for the libertarian movement to be healthy, you need to have those 2 groups, and the other groups we have, but you also need to have the principled minarchist sort of libertarians who hold sort of fundamental deontological libertarian legal views, but still think a night watchman state can be justified. I don't think you have a sustainable movement without that, and I think Nozick gives us a way we can sort of make that belief more reasonable than it might at first seem. Anywho, I'm really excited and hoping to get to that. I finished that book a little bit ago, but it's still drove me wild. It's wonderful. Besides that, I might want to do a couple smaller essays or things on books. Maybe some philosophy essays, Peter Singer, maybe the famous Judith Jarvis Thompson piece defending abortion, the classic one, and some other things. So this State of the Channel video, besides that immediate future, what my plans are, I also want to intersperse with them some videos on some different topics to give me a break and let me talk about things I want to talk about. And there are really 3 main wells that I want to draw from. And not all of these wells might please, I know I have a very small audience right now, but the 10 of you, 2 of you who are watching, you're probably more interested in me for the political and economic issues. And I definitely want to talk about that, and I definitely want to talk about political and economic thinkers who aren't the ones who you can get a ton of free audiobooks from the Mises Institute, right? You go on Mises Institute, you can get all your Rothbard, all your Mises. I want to talk about other libertarian thinkers who you can't get as easily in audio form. So your F.A. Hayeks, like I'm already doing, your Knights, your Deidre McCloskey's, those sort of people. I want to pick books from them to go through at some point. Maybe do smaller, shorter videos on their thought as well. Basically what I'm trying to do is I'm trying to force myself to not go to the abbreviated internet sources that so many people do, and force myself to actually learn these people well. And in the process, I'm probably going to make it harder for you out there in internet land to like be the best version of yourselves, because I'll be providing better, short, abbreviated internet versions, hopefully, than already existed. And you guys can be lazy, and I will get the meat, and you'll get the chewed up version of it that I regurgitate into your bird mouths. Probably shouldn't have used that analogy, but anyway, moving on. Besides that, well, the political, economic topics, maybe a little bit of current events here and there. Besides that, well, I also want to talk about philosophy and theology. So, I know philosophy and theology aren't the same things, but I'm a Christian person, and theological and philosophical questions have a lot of overlap, obviously, and so I want to talk about those things. Some ideas I've jotted down for videos. Is there a good case for human beings having immaterial souls that in principle could non-miraculously exist without a body? Discussion of different ethical theories. Probably not going to dive too much into religion. Maybe a video on virtue ethics at some point. It's something I want to learn more about. Maybe videos on like different theological doctrines, like the Trinity or Incarnation, and different views of those, and different views of the atonement. Maybe a couple of apologetics videos on topics that aren't as usually covered. I recently read a bunch of Plantinga, and boy, best epistemology out there. Like seriously, like even if you're a non-Christian, read some freaking Plantinga. Great epistemological stuff. It's absolutely amazing. Like even if you're a hardcore atheist, his epistemology is probably correct. Like not that, obviously if you're an atheist, you're not going to buy his stuff about properly basic beliefs in the existence of God, like the sensus divinitatis sort of stuff. But like, it's good, man. It's good. And hopefully we'll like do videos on that at some point, just like sort of philosophical videos. You know, we'll do a video explaining the Gettier problem. We've already been, when I talk about Nozick, maybe my introductory video before I talk about Anarchy, State, and Utopia, maybe we'll do like a video on some of his other thought, like his truth-tracking epistemological theory. Who knows? But, yeah. Anyway, third well I want to draw from is culture. So, I'm obviously not going to be the best YouTuber on, you know, anime or comic books or movies. So much good content on all that stuff on YouTube. But maybe I can provide like interesting perspectives or crackpot interpretations of things. Maybe I'll do some high culture like Hamlet or Les Mis or Pride and Prejudice or Brothers Karamazov. Most of it will probably be pop culture. Beatles. I don't know why I have Beatles written down first. That's weird. Probably not going to do a lot of videos on Beatles songs, but who knows, maybe at some point I love the Beatles. Yeah, maybe we'll do videos on like Breaking Bad, Blazing Saddles. Definitely want to do in the near future. Just not near future, but at some point, random ideas. Hunter x Hunter, I think, has a large section about the Eucharist, and it's weird as heck, and I love it and want to talk about it. I mean, like, it's bizarre. Just watched Neon Genesis Evangelion. It's another anime I'd like to talk about. A lot of comic books I really love and would like to tell you why I love them, or talk about their meaning a little bit more. Like, stories have so much power. I know a lot of people don't like Tom King's recent Batman run, but his Cold Days story and the way that that treats religion, like I said, I'm probably going to do some more religious videos, so there's an intersectional video between comic books and the theology stuff that would be quite good, talking about Tom King's Cold Days and its relation with religion. Or Tom King does a lot of religious stuff in his books in general, so maybe just a video on Tom King and religion. Anywho, yeah, like, I like culture, I like the intersection between politics and economics and culture, and the intersection between philosophy and religion and culture, and how they interact. So that's something I'd like to talk about at some point too, do some videos on. Mob Psycho 100 is also weirdly libertarian at times, in my opinion. Maybe we'll do a video on that. Just random ideas. Okay, so this is the three wells that I kind of want to draw from for my videos on this channel. There are three guiding principles that I want to keep in mind as I go forward. So the first is empathy and civility. I want to present everyone's ideas, even the ones I disagree with, and even the ones I think are dangerous, as serious and not simply ideas to be laughed at or mocked. It can be really hard sometimes not to mock things that you disagree with, especially when you're not engaging face-to-face with the people you disagree with. I do think mockery and harsh and biting satire have an important place in social discourse, but it seems as though the milieu we're in is one where too much joy is taken in anger and bile, and it's indulgent. I hope the videos on this channel can explain to atheists what Christians believe, and explain to Christians what atheists believe. Explain to pro-life people what pro-choice people believe. Explain to pro-choice people what pro-life people believe. I think it's bad that people talk past one another, and hopefully this can be a place where I present everyone's ideas fairly, so that people with wildly different worldviews can understand the ideas of their opponents, and come to view them as human people who deserve to be engaged with intelligently, because that's off your opponents. A lot of people are dumb, but the ideas dumb people hold probably came from smart people at some point, and even if they didn't come from smart people at some point, there are probably, like if they didn't originate with a smart person, there is some smart person somewhere who holds them and can mount a good defense of those ideas. And so we should take ideas, and we should always put them in their best form, and treat them in their best form. We shouldn't just mock and tear down with ridicule, because that just turns off your opponents. All right, it's the first guiding principle. Second guiding principle is what I'm going to call stewardship. I want to be a better steward over my own blessings and what I have, my own resources. I want to make sure that I am, like I said at the beginning of the video, being the best version of myself. I have ultimate career goals that I'm working on. I just got married and am working on a job that I'm hoping will allow me to transition into what I want to do career-wise, potentially go to grad school. But in the meantime, I can use this to be a good steward of what I do have. I can use it to force myself to read and think and write and speak and do all those things I want to do. So the second guiding principle in this channel is to force me to be who I want to be. Final guiding principle, be interesting. I don't want to get bored or worn out making these videos, so I want to make sure the videos I keep making are interesting to me. So this is going to lead hopefully to two major things. A, timelessness and not timeliness. And B, weird intersections between topics I'm interested in. With maybe an occasional super technical video. I don't want to rule out doing, I'm a math guy, I don't want to rule out doing like a math or maybe computer science, I don't know as much about that, or logic video, being a little bit more technical, or being a little bit more technical with economic sort of stuff. But in general, I want to do weird intersections between things. with topic A on the timeliness versus timelessness thing, I don't want to get caught up in whatever the fad of the moment is. Like when the Covington kids thing happened, it would have been so easy for so many people online would have made videos to take advantage of that and get clicks. I think that's a waste of time, and those aren't the sort of videos I want to produce. I may do an occasional current events video if something is just too important or too interesting, but in general I want to avoid that. And I want to do videos on intersections between things, right? If you're a Christian like I am, you hold some sort of ethics that are guided by your Christianity, and that should in turn influence your politics. It just should. Doesn't mean I'm absolutely not Christian conservative. I'm a libertarian. I think people have rights, but I ground that in a broader ethical theory. And so the intersections between those things, I think, are important. And the same goes for culture. Art is an extremely powerful way to express ideas in a way simply beyond propositional statements of if A, then B seems likely, B, then C seems likely. Right? You can do that sort of mechanical talking, but if you watch a movie that expresses an idea that you like, let's say you watch a movie that's very, I don't know why I'm going to use this example, Rawlsian, and you previously understood Rawlsian, but you didn't find it super compelling. Well, you watch this movie, you may have an understanding of the intuitions behind Rawlsianism far more than you ever would have by studying the propositions of it. Sort of a, if you know the Mary's Room thought experiment, sort of that sort of thing. Stories and narratives and art are very powerful ways to get non-propositional knowledge or intuitions into people's heads. And talking about those are great. So, yeah, there you go. Sort of a state of the channel, sort of a manifesto of what I want to do with this channel. Hopefully I make more videos, and hopefully y'all like them. Y'all, I don't like that. I'm going to try not to use that. I don't usually use that in my normal everyday sort of speech. Hope you folks out there in the internet land like them. And with that, this has been the Esoterica.